Welcome to Pop Culture Roll Call, the show where our hosts are watching The Magicians by only viewing the scenes that their character is present for. This is Season 3, Episode 12, The Fillorian Candidate.
Welcome back to an episode of Pop Culture Roll Call. My name's Mike. I'll be watching everything from the point of view of Penny. Left me as always.
It's Stasha, and I'll be watching as Margo.
In front of me as always.
It's Colin. Watch everything from the point of view of High King Eliot, as always.
Right here, right now.
It's Brian. I watch Quentin.
And creeping in the background often.
Producer James.
I like that episode title. I get that name. I understand that.
Do you?
The Fillorian candidate?
Yeah.
It's like the Manchurian.
The Manchurian candidate.
He recognizes that it is from something else,
It's referencing something else.
but he doesn't know what it means in this show.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Okay, this makes way more sense. I was like, I'm pretty sure
you know what it means?
Yes, I do.
It's a good listen.
And I was like, you weren't there.
You give me a
How
good
do you know?
movie.
He's invisible.
Not anymore. He's watching as Penny 23.
He's definitely still invisible.
He did not introduce himself correctly. Penny 23.
Yeah, I'm watching as Penny 23 and me.
This is actually vital.
Number 1 in your hearts, number 23 in the universe. New vibes, same guys.
Is this a...
You may not have noticed that last week I put your name as Penny ?
Did you realize? That's very good.
He did not.
He did not
Penny?
notice. But because I didn't want to write Penny 23 because I wanted you to discover.
Yeah, a lot going on.
What did we have as the name for Penny 23 last week? We didn't say 23. We had a different one.
No, you started calling him 23.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Did we call
By
it
the end, we
original
figured it out.
Penny? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I would have preferred Ultimate Penny. Is that?
Ooh.
But I wasn't here.
We were
We can
saying
start
we
now.
were saying like
23 Penny, none the richer.
616
No, 616 was like the original.
Yeah,
we did
call
Ultimate,
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ultimate
this
Penny
makes
would have been
sense.
the correct way to do it.
we gotta see what his vibe is before we start.
Could we-
We can't decide
Well-
what universe he belongs to until we get the vibe.
20
I mean, Penny
pence, no-
23 is what they call him.
it's this universe. It's just time travel.
No, I know. I was okay. It's fine. I was trying to make a joke. It's fine. I'm off my game.
How
today.
dare you?
What kind of show do you think this is?
Don't know.
No jokes allowed.
Can everyone take a deep breath and let's get back to the script?
All right.
God
Cue
damn
up
it.
the Ken Burns editing cuts. We're talking about Civil Wars, right?
And baseball.
And baseball. Same thing, really.
I start with credits. Does anybody have anything before we start?
Start with
Nope.
credits.
Start with credits.
Well, look at me.
It's the Mike show again.
I mean, I'm
23
pretty sure
boy.
you're just the main character now.
I promise we all have more than 2 minutes. this
He
week,
might
Mike, I
or might
swear.
not be the main character, but he's definitely the most interesting character right
That
now.
is true.
Yeah, that's fair.
I may not be the main guy, but I'm the best guy. My episode starts off with a previously on Us as Josh catches me up on everything I've missed, which is also
Got it.
maybe the best season recap for anyone who wasn't aware of all of things
Wait,
going on.
so
So
do
you
you
got
get-
the recap?
I get a recap of him telling me what's going on.
Can
so,
you tell us what the show thinks is important at this point?
I wrote it all down. 'Cause I'm like, everyone needs to know this.
Yeah, please give me the recap on our show.
Yeah, and Josh was like, hey, just imagine a montage.
I do.
Okay.
So,
Everyone close
good?
your eyes.
I do just want to say before we start, this very clearly means we're not getting the other Penny back. Like, I just want.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They're just like, okay, we're gonna make him
We gotta
catch it
reboot.
caught up.
It's was it Beer Fest where the guy dies
And then
and then
he
his
replaced-
identical twin brother?
And he told me everything about me, so it's like we don't even have to learn each other. Yeah, I'm new brother. So apparently this whole show starts with a group of fine-looking grad students that were invited to a secret school for magic,
Hell
where
yeah.
a bunch of stuff happened that doesn't really matter.
Sorry, when he says fine looking, is he like, oh, you look fine, or you're like, you look fine?
No, fine looking.
I mean, you look
This
at
is
Margo
Josh
and Elliot.
Yeah,
And
thank
Penny.
you.
Josh is fine. Margo and Elliot are fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, Quentin's fine, depending.
Quentin has.
If you like a greasy rat boy, he's pretty fine.
And listen, let me tell you, lots of
Some
girls
people
love the
love a
greasy,
greasy
rat
rat
boy,
boy.
me included. There were a couple shots where I'm like, is he hot? And I'm
He
like,
is
what is
kinda
this disease?
The plague from the Greasy Rat Boy.
And then obviously we know that Penny's hot.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like we don't need to say it.
Yeah, that's
sky's
obvious.
blue, sun's hot. So is Penny. Yeah, a bunch of stuff happened until they ran into a mysterious figure. The answer to a riddle they didn't even know to ask, and I'm just like, it's you. It's like, yeah, just do you want the ketchup or not? Like, just go with it. For a while, everyone became kings and queens. Well, like everyone but you. Everyone hooked up. Josh had a threesome with 2 harpies, and I'm like, get to the parts about me.
He's just dropping in little humble brags.
Yeah,
not
just-
relevant to the
just-
story. I fucked two
Just
harpies.
name dropping.
Yeah.
And he's like, well,
great.
you had a lot of drama with your hands. Signed a billion-year contract with the library to help out Katie. And I'm like, who's that?
You don't know who Katie is?
No.
Interesting. So Katie didn't go to break bills, I guess, in this timeline, time loop.
Or they went,
Or
and
just
didn't
never ran
interact.
into each
Yeah,
other.
they
Yeah.
probably didn't go.
And he's like, Katie Orloff Diaz, the love of your life, looks like she could crack open your balls with just looks because she can. Well, it was a love for the ages. Despite that Katie got in way over her head with head wishes, especially her best bitch, Julia Wicker, their term, not mine. And whatever went down made them ex best wishes.
Witches.
Yeah.
You said wishes twice.
Yeah.
Which is cute,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it ain't what it is.
Okay, so Katie and Julia were besties, and
Yeah.
now they're no besties.
Yeah,
they're not
something
besties.
happened. Doesn't know what, but they had a falling out, so they're
Yeah.
no longer, best.
So that's why the vibes have been off.
Vibes
That
are
makes
off.
a lot
I
of
guess I
sense.
didn't necessarily pick up that the
I
vibes
they
between
like
them were
there was like a mention like something happened vaguely, but like
Yeah.
I think
Well, they also just like stopped. They used to be in scenes together. Like
Yeah.
usually when we got one, we kind of got the other one, and then all of a sudden,
we got more Julia.
yeah, and like Katie was out doing her own thing, and it just felt like we were trying to like play games of telephone between the two
Yeah.
of them, and we weren't ever like having conversations anymore.
and they are in the same room in this episode, but I don't think they interact really at
yeah,
all.
giving each other side eye.
We'll talk.
Okay.
And then he's like, yeah. So only one that kind of loved you, like he was your main love, and then you died, kind of. Magic got fucked up. And he starts going off on like it's amazing how it's a stupid joke, but I can't miss it. He's like, it's amazing that jacked up is bad, but jacked off is good. And I'm like, focus up. And he's like, okay, sorry. With magic gone, a bunch of fairy dicks invaded Fillory, made Eliot and Margo look like derps. So
Yeah.
then the people revolted.
Yeah.
Only ray of hope, Julia mysteriously still has magic. Why? ? We got sent on a dope quest to find the 7 keys that unlock magic. The 4th one got gobbled up by a dragon, lost to the underworld. Another Penny sent us the key, but he never came back. And then came my grand adventure, and I'm like, hard pass, keep going. He's like, I saved the day in your timeline. I was there, you didn't do shit. And I'm like, oh wait, you skipped the 6th key. Like, you got the 7th key. What about the 6th key? None of this makes sense. And he's like, no, it's intentionally confusing. Julia saved a bunch of fairies from slavery. So the fairy queen was like, I have the 6th key, but I'm not going to give it to you because she's a creamy bitch, quote Margo. Also, Alice has been acting real fishy. Quentin was like, and there's like quick cuts to like scenes of this dialogue being exchanged. Quentin was like, are you working for the library? And she was like, yes. Now, please refer to the hookup/murder chart. And then it is a Always Sunny style string of photos
Yep.
connecting people.
Who's hooked up with who?
Who's
and
murdered who? Who's fucked who? And then I'm looking at the chart like, Penny got with Alice. Interesting. Now.
Oh yeah, that happened.
that
It
did.
did happen.
That did happen.
Yep.
Forgot.
Now that we know who porked whom, let's go over who murdered whom. And at this point, Katie walks in, and you just hear Penny, runs over, hugs me, and I look confused.
Because you don't know who this person is.
Yeah, and she steps back, and she is like, so, and I'm like, oh, you're Katie. And she's like, what's going on? And I'm just like, I'm not your Penny. And then we get the opening
At
credits.
least you ripped the Band-Aid off quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Opening credits.
Nice.
So a nice little debrief, of
Okay.
where we stand.
We mostly knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
was
doing
really
a
kind
good
of
job.
hoping for
We're
some
doing-
big.
I feel like we're doing
Yeah,
okay.
that's fair. I guess if I would have been to a bunch of things, so maybe it would have been our fault. So the fact that it's none of it's super surprising means that we're doing all right.
Yeah.
We're doing our job as podcasters.
Yeah. Pats on our back.
I got like 14, 15 minutes.
Like 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all
Yeah,
have
it's a
to
long
think
one.
about that. So it's
Okay.
gonna be a long one. We all have to put in 15. I think we're the only two that are like together all the time.
Yeah, I think most of our scenes, if not all
Yeah.
of them, are together. So it'll be easier on our side of things.
Okay.
I'm assuming you two are having your own little
Yeah.
side affairs. Why don't you jump
I'll
into
get,
some
I'll get
stuff?
started.
Yeah, do it.
We're having a little meeting. It's Alice, Julia, and I. Alice and I are like talking about the plan. Julia is like spacing out and not listening. But Alice is basically, she kind of snaps in at the start of this. But Alice is thinking that it's not a good plan, that we're basically going to like open a door knowing that there's a monster behind the door. I don't really know exactly what this is referring to. And I'm like, yeah, but behind the door is where the magic is, so we have to open it.
This is about putting all the keys together and
Yeah.
solving the quest. Okay.
And I may have some stuff before this as well. It's weird because like I interact with a couple people, but I don't know where I am in the episode. But I know the door we're talking about.
Okay, I think that I have a scene before.
Don't worry. We'll
Yeah,
slide
we'll
you
get
in.
there.
Anyways, so I'm like, well, our info about what's behind this door did not come from a reliable source. And Alice is like, it was you. And I'm like, it was the beast. So kind of, whether or not that version of Quentin is trustworthy is TBD, I guess.
Yeah.
Julia wants to research this castle to find out what's inside. And Alice suggests that we ask the library. So she leaves to go do that. Julia's like, I don't trust the library. They literally snort bones of fairies. So we're going to have... Julia's going to ask Penny 23 to follow.
This is a great lead into my scene.
Oh, trust the process.
Trust the
Mike.
process.
Trust the process.
So I'm reading up on current news, kind of seeing what's going on. And there is an article about the White House rolling back regulations after a mass shooting when Julia walks in. And I'm like, my timeline was post-apocalyptic. Still wasn't this fucked up. And she is here.
616 be like that.
Yup. She's here to tell me about Alice meeting with the library. And she wants me to follow her on the astral plane. And Julia's like, Quentin thinks that I'm more likely to say yes if Julia asks me to do it. Because me and the other Julia shared a thing.
Yep. And you probably still hate Quentin.
Yep. And I'm like, well, we
in all
both
timelines.
Yeah. And then Julie's like, well, we both know that we're like still total strangers, right? And I'm like, go on. Julia's like, okay, this is a chance to unfuck magic. And as a new citizen of Timeline 40, that should be something you also want to do. So whoever asks. So my next scene is listening in on Alice's conversation in the library.
Oh,
What did you realize?
I realized that Julia is gonna steal Katie's boyfriend.
Listen, there is a
And they're
non-zero.
already not getting along.
It's not Katie's. It's not her boyfriend.
Yes. Do we know technically? Yes.
Yeah.
Do
Emotionally?
we know? Right. This
I
is,
brought this up last week. I'm on the same page as you. It's not going to not be sloppy.
I don't think there
but
is
I-
a character on this show safe from bed with Penny.
I did think we did talk about it last week, but I didn't realize that they were like actually fighting and not friends anymore.
sure.
And now that adds like
It's gonna be
another
worse.
layer of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Do you want me to just kind of go right into that?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well do that, and then we'll jump over to our scenes for a little bit.
Okay, so it is our good old friend the librarian and Alice, and they're talking about the castle at the end of the world.
Sounds rad.
And the librarian says she's heard of it, and it was built by gods, but its contents are secret by design. And all the mortals know is that we are not meant to know. And Alice is like, well, why wouldn't they want you to know what's inside? Like, why are they so secretive? And she's like, well, perhaps it's indeed the lair of a horrifying monster. Perhaps they simply enjoy tormenting those of us who dedicate our lives to cataloging information. And Alice is like, okay, whatever their motive is, we'd be idiots to go in totally blind, so we need to figure this out. And Alice is told to go ask someone who's been inside. A god, perhaps.
Of the mansion.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Which god do we know?
And she's like,
a few of them. We have options.
yeah, she's like, your friends have had encounters with them. Now, there's another matter. She goes in to like a cabinet and pulls out this like little metal like spherical object. This is apparently the siphon. And Alice thought it would be bigger, and she hands it to her. And she says that the siphon needs to be powered, and it requires a lot of energy. And the intended source has not fulfilled their end of the bargain. So,
So the
Yeah.
source of the siphon's power is a they.
yes.
Okay.
And Alice is like, well, then how are we supposed to use it? Like, if the original source isn't going to work. And she's like, well, Julia, she's powerful enough, and if her magic were implanted into the siphon, And Alice is like, she's not going to go for that. Like, she's never going to go for that. And librarian is like, well, then you have to take her power by force. Alice is like, this could kill her. And the librarian's counterpoint is, we've all made sacrifices to pursue our greater purpose. We need the siphon charge before something happens. And she's like, Alice is like, I know. Give me some time to figure out another way. I'll be in touch. And we get the warning from the librarian. Once magic is flowing again, she has 30 seconds to attach the siphon. If she misses the window, their chance is gone forever. They're not looking thrilled about this. Like, them, like, discussing that this is going to kill Julia, neither the librarian or Alice look happy.
Yeah.
Like, no one's like, hey, we got to do it. It's very much things got to get done.
I don't really understand what the purpose of this is, though.
I know.
Oh, okay.
We'll
We'll
get
get
there.
there.
But what's important from this scene is we don't know the specifics of how this is going to go down. But we have this magical orb, and whenever the magic starts flowing, you drop the thing into a thing. You got 30 seconds, if not kaput, and no more magic forever ever. Is the vibe?
That's
no.
Something doesn't
Second half
happen.
of that is wrong.
Okay. We'll get there.
That's what
And
I picked up.
Alice walks through my astral form. Me, like, listening to everything, and they can't see me. So we leave there.
Cool. What are you two up to?
Is this Penny 40 or Penny 23?
This is all 23, right?
It's all 23 and me.
Okay.
But how are you astral then in the library?
No, because
He's just astral plane.
I'm just astral planing.
He's not
Okay. So you're
dead.
just.
He's
I didn't
just
know.
traveling onto the astral plane.
Oh, because you're
Oh.
a traveler and the astral plane's a physical location.
I thought that
you
was
can
like
travel to?
magic.
Yeah, I thought
didn't
that was like a
realize
spell
that.
you could do to go to the astral plane. I didn't realize
to
you
like
could just kinda-
astral project yourself into a different place. Because didn't you have to like?
He's traveling. What do you mean?
Yep, that's totally fine.
Like,
It's fine.
Dungeons and Dragons logic, the astral plane is a physical location.
Okay,
Right?
cool. I didn't
Just
know
we
that.
haven't used it like that.
Yeah.
I think it feels like a really helpful thing we probably could have done. Hey, we need to break into this
Like,
old
Penny
mansion
didn't-
full of ghosts. I'll go to the astral plane and get there.
Penny
Seems
didn't have
easy.
hands for like 80%
Yeah,
of the show,
I
so
always forget how many red herrings and MacGuffins they
But-
have in this thing.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
right, so you
used
can't
it-
Travel.
and like him using it to like save his consciousness didn't seem like, at the time, if I'm remembering correctly, like a wild thing that's new. It was more like a desperate attempt to just try to stay alive. But he treats it as very much like, yeah, that's something I can do now.
Fair enough.
maybe Penny 23 learned some things.
Maybe.
We're on Moonjack, big flying boat,
Yeah.
flying in the sky now, not sailing on the sea because of the power of Bowie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Take a look. in a
And
book.
Josh is bringing us tacos because we're sick of pigeon.
Yep, and it's
Are they pigeon tacos?
well,
no,
we'll get
no.
there.
Well, no. I'm not eating pigeon tacos.
But he went out to go shopping and, quote, Fillory's got to have Tuesdays, don't it? And he throws a big bag of tacos down on the table because he rules. And, yeah, so Margo's just super happy. Eliot's kind of like, we're in the resistance. Why are we having, like, tacos? Why are we getting all fluffy about it? Not really being too crass, but it just kind of, like, open up for, both Josh and Fen come back. So Fen is now back from her travels wherever, I guess, because she needed a break at some point where she's like, hey, this is all too much. Took my daughter away. I'm outie. That was like 4 episodes ago. And Elliot's like, it's been years. I'm not sure if it's actually been years, but we kind of get the vibe that we haven't seen each other in literal forever, even though it's not that long, I don't think. But again, timescale on this show is kind of strange. I'm not actually sure what takes months versus weeks.
Well, it
versus
also
days.
is intentionally like Fillory works differently in terms
Yeah,
of time
fair
than
enough.
Earth,
Fair
so
enough.
it might have been years.
It could have been. I always forget that time's traveling so significantly differently in Fillory because
But
it
it's not-
doesn't seem to actually have any like tangible impact on the story.
It's also like inconsistently traveling. It seems
is.
like
It
so. It's
doesn't-
like, well, if
yeah.
it's good for the plot to make it travel
Yeah.
5 years, we're gonna do it.
They handle time passing the way most D&D campaigns handle. Like, it passes as fast as it needs to.
Well, I would say the show as a whole handles its plot devices pretty loosey goosey in general. It's like, what do we do with Penny? We were out and rode him in a corner. Let's get another penny.
Never
fucking
won.
matter.
Got like 42 more.
We got 42 more. Just write it in. Doesn't matter. We're gonna do 1 episode. Bing bang boom. We got a new penny. And it's like great. Anyway, so Margo's over there, and also Margo's outfit. I want to call out. You're looking like a Queen Amidala ripoff. Like,
There's a lot of this in
what
this
a
episode.
strange. We really went
Which
whole hog.
Queen Amidala ripoff is it?
Like the big back behind the
Okay.
head,
like episode 1 stuff.
Yeah,
Like the
like episode was
Queen of Hearts style,
Yeah.
like collar.
huge frump thing. And it's like, I don't know, the outfits are just getting more wild in the Fillory side of things. Like, it was, for a while, it was like peasanty and kind of like old fantasy. Like, it was lots of like, you know, so, like embroidery and stuff, but it wasn't like opulent, giant, like Victorian gowns and things.
You got to look the part when you're starting an underground resistance.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. We are in the resistance. So I have a little aside because Fenn came back, obviously, and Eliot kind of takes her aside. I'm like, hey, you didn't need to like come back, but she seems like she's here to party. She's here to like help out. She wants to be a part of this. And Eliot, I don't think ever expected to see her again. Thought that our whole interaction and things were done.
Yeah, we thought she was written out of the show. Guess not.
Guess not. Lots of things I thought were written out, including Fillory and Fenn. Both of them are back this episode. Need to stop guessing that. I'm wrong every time. But yeah, so I'm like, hey, you know, you don't need to come back for me. Like, I think Eliot misinterprets why she came back. Like, you don't need to do this. Like, you don't need to be back for me. Well, like, I was a king and you were promised to me. I'm not a king. We don't have a daughter. Like, this doesn't need to happen if you feel like you owe something. And she's like, no, like, I get that, Eliot. Like, thank you. But you misunderstand why I'm back here, because there's not really anywhere else for me to go. Like, and I was like, oh, you like, well, I figured like go home. And she's like, home was a small village on the outside of the castle where if I didn't marry you, or if I wasn't promised to a king, I was going to end up marrying one of the 4 knucklehead boys that lived within spitting distance of my house. And oh, by the way, they all want to see you murdered right now. They are like actively don't like you. And guess what? I am your wife who they think has like slept with you. I am your like betrothed to you, have your kids. So like, I am not welcome in my hometown anymore. Like, what do you think they would do to me if I go back there as like the ex-squeeze of the king that they want to depose? And she's like, and I was like, oh, that got like a lot less happy and fun the more that you kept talking. She's like, I'm here because it's the place that I need to be, but it's also kind of the only place that I belong. And I was like, okay, well, come on in. And we like walk over to a rabbit yelling, eat my ass, like a weird Bart Simpson.
That was the message back from the fairy queen when we asked for the key. That was the rabbit she sent. We're not positive if that was what she said exactly, or if it's just a really horny rabbit, a kinky rabbit.
Just a rough translation.
But that's
she doesn't seem like an eat my ass type.
Yeah, but maybe the rabbit was translating.
It feels like a translation. Like she's going, the rabbit's going off vibes.
Yeah, like, you know, like a subs to dubs, like sometimes you get language, you lose a little bit of magic.
You need the inflection. That's why I prefer subs over dubs, because you get the original voice actor's inflection with the direction of the original creators rather than the interpretation.
So you hear the real oomph behind it.
I hear the oomph behind it. I don't need to know exactly what they're trying to say. I just need to know what they mean. You know what I mean?
Well, in any case.
Anyway.
That's the end of my scene.
Yeah,
my next scene, we're in a bar.
Yeah, because we want to get more information from the fairy queen, and Finn's like, maybe there's something we can do to get her attention. So now we're going to try and draw the fairy queen's attention because we don't know if we can trust the eat my ass response. And even if we can trust it, we still need the fairy queen's help. So it doesn't matter either way.
So it seems like Katie's request did not get really fulfilled.
Yeah, it didn't get us super far.
My next scene is with you.
Yep. Let's do it.
Yep. So Alice is here post-library.
Yeah, so it's Katie, Alice, Julia, and Quentin. We're in the cottage. You don't see Penny, but he is here in spirit. And Alice is basically like filling a sentence like, that's all the librarian knows. And we have to ask a god because they're the only people who've been in this castle. Our Lady Underground has not answered Julia in months, so that's one option off the table. I'm looking through my phone. Apparently Bacchus's Instagram got deleted for terms of service violations. Allegedly,
that's what got it deleted, because some of the shit that
nipples.
pops up on my Instagram, I'm curious what their terms of service are.
No nipples.
Yeah, and then Alice says, I'll go find Dean Fogg. I'll try to catch him while he's sober. So I'm assuming he's just like, the Dean will probably know some gods.
I thought we were saying Dean Fogg's a god.
Unless I know something.
Definitely
no, okay, I misinterpreted that. Okay.
Alice leaves immediately after the door closes. Penny like pops in off the astral plane, and she's like, she's lying.
She's lying. Not about the god stuff, but everything else. She's leaving stuff out.
Yeah. So you're talking about the siphon, this kind of metal contraption, and it's basically something about ripping out Julia's power.
Which he's not happy about.
Yeah. So I think that's a key bit of information that we get. I mean, you saw it, but like Alice and maybe a little bit the librarian isn't happy about this plan, but they seem like
Yeah.
there's no other real choice, or like weren't totally against it.
And even like the librarian like kind of alludes to like, you know, we've lost things for the greater purpose, her daughter. So like she's lost people as well, but they're focused on whatever this greater mission is.
Yep. And that's that whole scene for me.
Yep.
Greater good conversation.
I can go to another.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do a thing. And we'll jump in a couple.
So I walk in to see Katie, who has a key in her hand, and I ask if it's the truth key, and she says if it was, I would tell you to go away. And I'm like, the Unity key, the walkie-talkie key. You're trying to talk to the other Penny. And she's like, no offense, you're the other Penny. I don't blame you. You're trying to survive like everyone else. When our Penny, the real Penny, is out there, like that's what our focus should be. So maybe if we talk to him, we can help him. And I smile a little bit. She's like, what? I'm like, all that shit you did for like the other me, that person would have done that. The only person that would have done that for me in my timeline is Julia. And she's like, well, our Julia's different. She's not the person you loved. I tell her that she doesn't owe me anything, but for what it's worth, it'd be helpful if you explain to it how she is different. So like everyone keeps telling me she's different. Tell me how.
But they don't know you're Julia.
Right.
So what,
like, how would you even start that?
It more like tell me about
she
this
is,
Julia.
yeah.
Like
tell
what
me about
happened to her.
Yeah.
So do you get the dump?
We then
Does
cut,
Josh come in with another clipboard like, hey, I heard somebody needs something explained.
we cut to like a time jump forward and we're pouring a drink. So
Okay.
she's explained everything and we're both having a drink.
Oh, so they don't actually tell you?
No. Well, no, she did.
Well,
no,
they tell off screen.
off screen.
Right. I know, but that means we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, they told us they'll info dump all the stuff we already knew with Josh.
Yeah.
They don't serve us the afternoon tea. They just give us the recap of the shit
I
we
mean, I'm
already
assuming
know.
it's just the Reynard stuff, right?
I mean, yeah, because the first thing I say is like, well, what about Reynard? What happened after?
Okay.
Well, you took him away. She says, I don't know, but it was his spark that Our Lady gave to Julia. So that's where Julia's magic comes from.
Reynard's god magic was given to Julia by Our Lady of the Underground.
Yep.
By Persephone.
Wait, sorry.
So Our Lady of the Underground
Yeah.
gave Reynard's spark to Julia.
That's why she has magic. Okay, so we thought it was Persephone that gave her magic.
And it
this
was.
makes sense.
It was just,
Yeah.
but it was Reynard's, which we didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gave him
So
Reynard's.
that's how he kind of got solved off screen by
Yeah.
a different part of our group.
He got Vulcan,
Yeah.
like head magic went into Julia's body as like a thank you for saving the shade. Maybe it's like,
Or
hey, you're
maybe-
worthy.
I feel like maybe this was a Reynard punishment situation.
Maybe
Yeah,
both.
but also
Maybe
it feels
both.
like Julia is one of her like chosen. So it was like
Yeah.
punish Reynard and reward one of your
Bogo.
devoted followers. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Little two birds, one stone action.
Because Julia, is it Julia or Katie who had the horrible scene?
Julia.
It was Julia.
Yeah. And then Katie keeps going on saying, well, now it's not about me. None of it was ever really about me. And she's never really known how to deal with the anger that she has about all of it. And I'm like, so wait a minute. Reynard could still be out there, still a god, but powerless. She's like, yeah, only gods. She's like, I guess. I'm like, well, only gods know what's behind the door.
Oh, so
And-
knowledge isn't magic, so we could still ask.
Yeah. And I'm looking at her like, and she looks at me. She's like, no. We're not doing that. No. I'm like, hey, we need to find Reynard.
But can you even trust him to tell you the truth, though?
That's a point someone brings up.
Okay.
It's a good point.
It's a great point.
Why trust the enemy? Why trust your
a
enemy's
literal
judgment?
trickster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a literal trickster guy.
I'll
like a
take
bad
a break
idea.
there.
Okay. We're at the bar. I am drinking with Humbledrum, the proprietor of this bar. He's
Yeah.
a bear.
He's a big old black bear.
Yeah, he's cool. And we're
You don't know British sound.
we're goofing around,
Pants, no
having
pants.
a drink.
Well, I can't
I don't know
see.
if you.
Is he Winnie the Pooh or is
Right,
he?
he- ass
is
below
just
table.
a
I
bear.
can't
So
see.
he's
Yeah.
Yogiing. He's not Winnie.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's Yogi Bear. But Yogi even has like,
Like
a
a
little
collar
hat.
thing.
Yeah,
right?
and he has a
and like a
tie.
tie. This is like a bear.
He's just a bear. Like just a bear.
Imagine, Mike,
full
close your
naked?
eyes. Mike, close your eyes. Imagine a bear.
Hey, Mike, he's bare naked.
Wow.
Wow.
From off screen
Wow.
across the bow.
This now you need to see. This is when we need the producer cam.
That's true.
So I can
one
mug
little
to the
clap.
camera.
Until then, it's just the God cam.
Do we get our vanity URL? Can we get the camera from
I didn't
Mike's
even
shoes
figure-
yet?
I forgot about that.
Hold on. We got
Another call to action this week. Subscribe to the
re-upping it?
YouTube.
We're working towards vanity.
We don't ask you all for a lot.
Yeah.
We really don't, and the only thing that we really want is a vanity URL so that we can get a
Need,
specialty camera that shows
Only
Mike's
you
feet.
can do this.
You and like 1,000 of your friends need to like and subscribe.
I don't even care if the people listen to the podcast. Just like make a bunch of fake accounts and like tell your friends to like and follow us. Like I'll inflate the numbers for a vanity URL. I don't care. I have no morals.
Please smash that like button.
I have a question to this couch. Who on this couch is subscribed to our own YouTube channel?
I'm not.
We're not even holding up our end of the bargain.
I'm not. It feels weird. It feels weird to subscribe to our own YouTube. Is that weird? Maybe it's weird not to.
You're
be
making it
subscribed.
weird.
Is it? I'm probably making
Can
it
we
too weird.
get back to my favorite part of this episode, which is the bear?
Oh yeah, the bear, Bumble Brashers or whatever. they're named.
Humble.
We got
Humble
caught up
drum.
in vanity, which is
That's true. Humble
drum. This
Humble
is
drum.
important for Eliot to
Yes.
focus on because we're here to see Frey, kind of.
Frey, she's working with the bear at
Yeah.
the.
Do you have any
establishment.
conversation before I come over?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we're chatting with Frey, and she's like, drinks on the house, and it's Fen and Elliot. So mom and dad are drinking. She's like, she's waitressing, bartending, whatever it is she's doing here. But she seems to be one of the few like humans in the background. There's a lot of
Yes.
animals and stuff, sort of like meandering about. And we are asking Frey to help get us in touch with the Fairy Queen. Because we obviously need to chat with her about the eat my ass stuff. And she's like, I don't want to talk to her. The last time I talked to her, she threatened to kill me. And I was like, I get that, but this is kind of important. There's this whole quest and all these keys. And it's like, you don't need to like her and you don't even need to be there. I just need you to like go glad hand some back alley fairy and get me a direct line to the Fairy Queen because we need answers. She rejects that, and she's like starts to get a little bit weird about it and talking about how everyone ruined her life. And I'm kind of imploring her that this is like I'm trying to like Eliot is trying to get to the heart of Frey's like love for her like duality here, where you get the sense, or at least Eliot gets the sense, I don't feel like it's particularly acted or written this way, that Frey still has an affinity for the fairies because they raised her. She still wants to see them succeed, and Eliot's trying to like play the card of like, this is about bringing peace and stability between the humans and the fairies. Like the Fairy Queen will want to hear this because they are in a bad way. They're obviously being ground up and snorted by the library. Like shit's bad for the fairies, and Frey doesn't know how bad it is, and I'm trying to tell her like, trust us, it's bad out there. We only want what's best for them. It also just happens to be what's best for us. Enemy of my enemy. So if we could make this happen, that would be fantastic. And that's whenever we get the conversation about Margo coming over. But like, I love that bear.
I talk about how much I love that bear, and that's when Frey says, I do too.
I love him too. And everyone's like, and we find out that bear is Frey's boyfriend. And he is very concerned about getting Eliot's approval because he still considers
Not her real dad.
But she also considers him to be.
Yes,
Kind of.
What? Why?
I don't know.
There were some very touching
was-
moments that you are clearly not remembering in this show between them. That's all I'm
She
gonna
was
say.
lying like the whole time.
No, she
She-
ended up kind of like drinking the Kool-Aid and
Yes.
being on her side. Near the
Remember
end.
she did the Welcome to America tour of New York and everything. Like,
She went to the city that never sleeps.
Didn't you not go with her?
No, she went with her mom, but we were doing stuff.
but it was like she was really happy that Elliot brought her out. and stuff.
Symbolism,
Anyway,
Brian.
there was
Sure.
tons of
Okay.
there was tons
Symbolism.
of connection.
Even after she found out she wasn't our daughter, she still tried to help us with the Fairy
Yes.
Queen already.
Yes.
So she's on record as wanting to vibe with us, even though she knows we're not mom and
Fair.
dad.
100% true. And I talk about apparently this is very frowned upon in Fillory, but I've talked to Humbledrum and I told him consent is key and that's the only thing I care about. And bears, bulls, whatever. Like Margo's a little drunk, I would say.
Yeah.
But
Wait, so is the implication that interspecies relationships are frowned upon?
it's
in
not an
Fillory?
implication. That is a factual
It is a
statement.
fact. It is
That is, they are not
prejudiced
allowed.
against. Yes. I think it is one of those like legally not allowed, but happens routinely, but is seen as a dirty, sinful thing.
It is taboo.
It is taboo is the phrase that gets thrown out.
The fact that they can consent is where it gets you. Like the fact that there's a bear working at a bar
owning
all
a
of
bar.
this goes into weird, like fantasy story. I guess it's fine.
There's
It
a
is
lot of
fine.
fantasy stories out there about animals hooking up with people. Trust me.
If they are completely sentient, I'm with Margo on this one.
Yeah.
Completely sentient. Everybody can consent. Everybody's talking. They all speak
He's
the
got a
same
9 to
language.
5.
They all live literally. What do
Who
I know?
cares? Fuck a bear.
I don't care.
And
I'm
Eliot-
not running DNA tests. Like I don't give.
Elliot's also pro fucking bears.
Yeah.
So like he takes Frey aside.
Both kinds.
That's
This is
exactly the
actually-
thing.
this is the
You
joke.
nailed the joke. So
My
Elliot-
brain went, wait. Has he been with an actual bear, or are we talking about bears?
Yeah, we're talking about bears from the gay community. And so Elliot takes Frey aside and he's like, Frey, I'm going to tell you something that I wish my father had said to me. And that is, I am so happy you're dating a bear. And she's like, thanks, I
And
love
she
you,
like
Dad.
tears up.
She like tears
it's
up.
so cute. And then you hear off screen, the bear also thanks Hubble
Thank you,
Drum.
Elliot.
Yeah, because he was
Thanks,
very
Dad.
nervous. It was really important to him to get Elliot's approval,
Yeah.
which I loved. Anyway,
Yep, very cute.
Very
Next
cute.
scene we have is meeting the Fairy Queen. Do we want to jump into that? Since
yeah,
we're
might as
jumping
well.
back
Right,
and forth?
we're a little behind, I think. We are meeting with the queen. Somehow this has worked. Frey has.
She does have back
A
alley
connection.
connections to
Yeah.
like her past life.
And so we're on the ship, and we're basically we're giving the exchange. We're like, hey, we will give you a homeland in Fillory in exchange for the key. You can like settle the ferries down here. You have to follow the laws, like no more takeovers. But like, you need a place to live. We can supply one. The problem is, from her perspective, there's a couple of things. One, she feels like they can wait it out because we're technically not the rulers of Fillory right now, and there's like a bunch of wars going on between all the different other people who live here.
You're promising something you don't really have.
Right.
Exactly her point, yeah.
Yeah. And their life, she says, are longer than the dwarves. They are willing to wait for the elves. So, okay, so there are other like
Fantasy. Races.
fantasy, yeah. And like her point is like we'll wait you out. Like even if they like if there's a huge war and like a bunch of people die and then it's a mess, then the fairies can come in and take over the entire place, which is still beneficial for them. But that's when Margo is like, no, you can't wait because there are no fairy children in your realm. Frey told us that they can't no longer birth children in the fairy realm. There's something going on there. We don't really know why, but that's all we need to know. And so, like, if you're also on a timeline, you don't have eternity to wait us out. Like, you need to start, like, they need to, like, birth children or else their species may die out, right? Especially, presumably, because they're being hunted for their bones, being the other problem.
Exactly. Low like tales old as time for extinct species. Like low
Right.
birth rate, a small population,
Yeah.
and overhunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she says, but right now, we don't represent the people of Fillory. Tick does. He is the crown. So she says, you come back and give me this offer when you have a crown or when you have an army. And she leaves.
Yep. Poops out.
Yeah.
So go do a couple scenes
Yeah.
and we'll jump back to Taco Tuesday.
Yes, we will.
You have more than I do, so why don't you go for it?
Okay. So we go in to check out with Julia, who is sitting on the main teacher desk in a classroom, Doctor Strange style, meditating with a bunch of things floating around her, and we're just like, hello, you okay? And she tells us that there's a little boy in Syracuse. She can feel his parents praying, and if she focuses enough, she can bring down his fever. So she's tapping into some magic.
She's got God magic and she's doing God things.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And Kay's like, I feel real bad interrupting this, but we need your help with something. Finding Reynard. All the items stop and fall to the ground. Like it's pardon?
That kid dies.
Yeah, a little kid's fever never gets better. It's all our fault.
Yep. And she's like, I know, but we need to talk to a god. And Julia is like, I want to help, but... And Kay's like, listen, you have all the power now, Julia. You're the one that can help us with this. And she's like, but he's a trickster. We don't know what he's capable of. And Katie's like, nobody hates that he's alive more than me. But if we don't do it, we're at a complete standstill. All you have to do is just help us find him and power up Penny's tattoo. We will take it from there. And Penny chimes in and just goes, you can also just say no. Which is, I don't know if that's like, hearing everything he's heard about Julie, I don't know if that's him like trying to like
Throw her a bone.
I don't know if it's like
or-
trying to woo her, but also just like being honest and like you can always say no. Like there's options here. Very different vibe to this Penny. And she's like, I'm not going to send you in there alone. We also don't need a locator spell. I can feel where he is with my mind. And she's like, are you ready? And we're like, a what? And she just takes us all there.
Yeah.
Oh, is she a traveler now? I guess her
She
god
can
magic
teleport,
gives her
yeah.
traveler powers too.
And then a real quick scene.
It's weird that like her powers, when magic went away, her powers were very like she could make little fireworks and it was inconsistent. And now it seems like she has way more power and control over it than she did.
I wonder if it's one of those like she always had all of the power, but it's about
She's
learning to
learning how to use it,
manipulate it.
yeah.
Just like we have to go out and do training montages for battle magic and stuff.
So we teleport to a very nice neighborhood outside of a gated home, and Julie just says he's nearby, and Katie's like, this is disappointing. I kind of was hoping we'd find him in like a Russian prison or something. Like it looks like he's doing fine. At that point, a car pulls up, a pizza delivery car, and he gets out because he's a delivery boy.
So he has a job.
How
How bad is
Yeah,
this?
he's not in prison.
In this economy?
Yep. I have 2 more scenes.
Okay.
I'll run through one. I am in kind of like a library, not the library, but a library. There's like a fireplace and stuff with Alice. And I basically just ripped the Band-Aid off, and I'm like, what's a siphon?
Okay. Because Alice left the room whenever Penny had told you that.
Yeah.
Alice,
She
okay.
left and then
I wanted to
suddenly
make sure.
appeared.
So she doesn't know that we know anything about the siphon.
Until now.
Like the existence of it even.
right.
And she looks a little shocked, but answers, sort of. And she's like, it's a safeguard. So the library wants to make sure that magic is not used by wrong people, like when it's turned back on.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And so the
Wrong
siphon will divert the magic to the library so they can control who has access to it.
Not a chance.
Isn't that what we presumed
Yeah,
that they were doing last
right.
week? And we're like, that's a very evil thing
Is
to do.
the villain of season 3 your local library?
No. This is a private library
a
that
branch.
doesn't have access.
It's a branch.
It's a private like
Well, it's really a specific librarian.
no. Well, you're right because like it doesn't seem like the people in the like
The
with Penny
underground
Prime like they're not doing nefarious stuff in the underworld library, right?
They had
Like,
a poison room.
But that's
that was the night, but that's this
that's a
library
different branch?
still.
that was
That's
this
the main branch.
Yeah.
That's the,
Oh, that was the main branch?
or the
Yeah.
the Netherlands branch. I guess
Right,
we don't
that's
even know
the
if it's
main
the main
one, though.
branch.
But
Oh,
yeah,
is
I
it?
mean, the one that we've been.
Yeah, it's just the main librarian that we've met as the kind of rep for all of these.
I've never seen any of these people, so I have no idea what's going on.
You've seen her. Have you seen Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
Sure, yeah.
Do you remember the neighbor who kept making him cookies
No.
because she was hitting on him?
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
Her.
girl? No, it's just like one of the main.
Because it was
love
Spider-Man 2. That's why.
I've
She's
seen
also
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
in
3.
theaters, and I don't remember side characters. I don't remember that
You,
scene.
you shouldn't. Don't worry about it.
I know.
There's
He's
no
the-
there's
he's
no
the one-
X-Men in that movie.
He's the one that's sick. I understand this.
How is this? How am I the one on the couch who knows this person?
Anyway.
Alice's analogy here is like, well, when you took the Break Bill's entrance exam, like if you didn't pass, they wiped your mind of all existence of magic and sent you on your way. Like, how are they not doing the same thing? And I'm like, well, the library is like corrupt and they've killed people and
Fairies.
and Alice is like, yeah, well, so have we. I'm like, I think it's a little different to have like an institution versus like some people, but whatever. And she says, like, at least they have the information and the perspective to like know what's right or whatever. Bunch of bullshit here, but I kind of like, you know, look at her a bit. And I'm like, you are like maybe the best magician in the world. And you are terrified of what you're going to do when you get magic back. Like, Alice seems kind of scared of herself in a weird way because of just all the niffin stuff. Yeah, exactly. And I say that people make mistakes so they can change and do better, but only if they're given the chance. Taking away that choice is not the answer. And then I say, there are 7 keys and we have 8 questers. We can do it without you. And we will unless you give me the siphon. She goes in her bag, gets the siphon, and hands it to me.
Okay. Wow, pleading.
Is it
work.
like a little spherical?
Yeah.
Okay.
And on her way out of the room, she like throws this weird guilt trip at me. She's like, "Oh yeah, your dad's cancer went into remission when magic went away. So what? Like, how long do you think he has after you bring back magic before he dies?" And that's the end of that scene.
Well, good news. Julia is a god now, so maybe she'll fix that.
Hey,
problem.
that's true. Too bad she's too late for the puppy.
Too bad.
Sad. Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday with
Taco
Josh.
Tuesday.
I like the emotional ride that I've been on in this show. Taco Tuesday with Josh. We're talking about how we can get the crown, because we're in a situation where we need the key so we can get the crown.
So no, we need the key to get the magic.
Yes,
and we need the magic
to get the crown.
Right. Key to get the magic to get the throne to get the key.
Yeah.
Circular. We need something to break somewhere here.
Yeah.
And we feel like the most likely candidate is we need the throne.
Yeah.
So the crown, the throne, whatever. Because like the key's controlled by the fairy, we can't just like pull that.
Yeah.
The magic, it's a whole can of worms that y'all are dealing with, the siphon and all this other shit. That we can't pull that. We could technically get the seat of power in Fillory.
Yes.
That's not a thing that is like withheld from us by preordained godhood. That is just Tick is a dude.
Yeah.
And he took it, and there's some mad people.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how this goes down, but Margo has an idea.
Well, Josh has an idea.
Josh has an idea.
Which is like, well, we could try to pitch elections, like, and then he like turns to us and gets really not nasty, but he's just like we were supposed to before magic. Like he blames us, rightly so, for not following through on the democracy thing that we were supposed to be enacting, and then we just decided to roll with an iron fist instead. But like we say, that's when Margo's like, wait, I have an idea. Like, this gives me an idea. I said, Josh, you need to go to Kinko's. And he goes, but then it, like, is a cut back, and he's coming in with the papers, and it's like, it worked. And so I think we, like...
There's a lot of scenes that we end up missing here.
This is Tick. But we baited him into an election for the High King, and Tick went for it.
Right.
Okay.
So presumably,
Why?
he is probably not consolidating power in the way that he wants to, I would guess. And so this is probably a method for him to like garner support to lock it up. I would guess.
My thought is that we know the people of Fillory. We know that the Foo Fighters want a Fillorian, not just a Fillorian, but they want Fillory to belong to the people. So they do want like something resembling democracy. Tick sees himself, I think, as a little bit more of an autocrat. Yeah. But he does ultimately want to be in power. He doesn't care who he's serving. He's a little bit of that, like, brown-nosed worm tongue kind of vibe to him, right? So, like, my vibe says that we send him to Kinko's. We start posting around flyers being like, hey, you traded out your old king for a new king. Like, what's the deal? Why don't we have an election? This is what we want as people. And then Tick, trying to be a person of the people, trying to keep his throne, is like, oh, if this is what the people want, I'm willing to run for king. And he also probably feels pretty good because he is the person with the most experience. He's the person who's already leading the country. He's the person who deposed the previous rulers. So he probably thinks he hasn't made in the shade. But it doesn't seem to necessarily be going that way. But we have kicked off the democracy conversation.
Yeah. And this is at the point in which Eliot pulls me aside to talk to me in the back room to drop the news that I should not be on this ballot.
It shouldn't be Eliot and Margo. It should be just Eliot.
Yeah. Like, my name should not be one of the candidates. And we get into kind of this, what
like
Margo calls later patronizing argument.
I would say it's patronizing and patriarchal. It's both, the root
both
is
those
the
things.
same.
Eliot's pitch is that we barely dragged Fillory into the 20th century, kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
And the person who should be on the ballot, the foot that is opening this door or whatever, needs to have a dick attached to it. There was a very funny joke about that in there. And Margo's like, oh, well, should we teach them about thigh gaps and of how abortion is murder? And like, she's just like, should we just bring all this shit since we're gonna institute it anyway? Like, again, fair point.
Fair point.
Like, there's nothing really that
Big La Prima Nocta vibes.
the thing that from Eliot's perspective is like, we don't even necessarily want to rule. We're just trying to get back enough clout to give the fairies what they want so we can get the key. Sure. And Eliot's like, the chances of us winning with just a dude on the ballot is higher, so we should do the thing that has the higher % chance. And we know that Fillory is baked in patriarchy. Yeah. So like, it's the whole like, don't put Hillary on the ballot kind of thing. Like, you're not going to beat the dude in the patriarchal society. And Margo hates it, and I don't think Eliot loves it. It doesn't feel...
No, Eliot is not happy about this, but he really, truly believes this is, like...
the best option.
We've got one shot.
Yeah.
Sure. Is the shot not Josh instead of Eliot?
So Margo storms off.
Yeah.
And she runs into Josh, who's there waiting for me. And I'm like... And she is wondering what he wants. And he's like, I have a great idea, but I need to go to the Earth portal tree. And as he's saying this, Julia appears in the room. And
you
we're
see
like,
Julia this episode.
We're like, huh?
Interesting.
And she's like, yeah, I heard that. I just felt like you needed me. So here I am. And so they leave. That's at the end of my
Josh
scene.
and Julia
Josh and Julia leave.
Okay.
That's the end of the scene. The next scene we come back are the polls.
The straw polls, which I
Yes.
think is pretty funny because I think it's supposed to be straw, not straw
Yes.
polls. Good bit. But our ratings are way up because Julia, and this is why Julia factors in here. Okay, I was super confused on why Julia came in big time for our campaign. She's probably been out campaigning for us. Even after the whole tree genocide thing, she went out and had her whole like Jesus moment where she was granting wishes and curing people's illnesses and like all of these things around Fillory, helping people like grow crops again. Yeah. And like Earth, because she's a child of Earth people are way back up.
Yeah. I think she might have restored the trees. I think it says
maybe
after the
that's
tree, like when they said it in the frame, I was like, oh, did she just like revive the tree people?
Them back up? I thought it was more like, even though Fillorians fucking hated her because she genocided, she came back and did some other nice things. So we're willing to let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So we have a bunch of scenes after this, which are like cuts back and forth as we update the straw polls, and Eliot is pushing policy messaging into, and so like there's a lot of black screens of like Eliot having a pitch, Tick having a pitch, Eliot having a pitch, Tick having a pitch.
And we hear Tick's voice, but we don't get the shots there.
But we clearly, they're posting these on like letters on like the stands and stuff, and we see some of that. So we would have read it. So like it makes sense. Before we get into that though, you said you had a couple more scenes before, so let's get
into it. You all have like one scene left because after this is pretty much the end of the episode for us.
I mean, I have that one scene that everybody's kind of talking and there's a black.
That's the end of our episode.
That's my next scene.
That's my last scene.
Okay, so do
I have
your
two scenes after that.
Okay, good. So get up to that scene and then we'll catch
finish.
Up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this next scene I got is at Reynard's apartment, which is a bit of a mess. And it starts off with Penny kind of looking at his like bookshelf. And it's like Roxanne Gay, Bell Hooks, Feminist Lit. What are you, saving these for a rapist book burning party? Wild. Got him, though.
Yeah, fucking across the bow. We like that.
And he's like, hey, I've changed. Living amongst humans has given me a whole new perspective.
Bro, we don't care.
Julia's not buying that shit.
Yeah, who would?
Calling him liar and pathetic. And he's like, why are you here? Like, what could I have that you possibly want? And she brings up the castle at the end of the world. She wants to know what's inside. And he's like, how do you guys know about that place? You're not thinking of going there, are you? Like, there's a reason the gods had an architect put it at the end of the world. And Julia's like, there's an architect? And he's like, it's not for you guys to know about. And Julia's like, well, it's funny because from where I stand, you're the little guy now. And he laughs, talks about how she has this power that she's trying to handle, that she can't, and that she should have kept her mouth shut and stayed in her place, and that she's gotten herself into real trouble now, and that, like, do you think it's easy being a god? And Julia's like,
I know, he made it seem like it was great before, so I don't really know what his complaints are about.
Yep. Yeah. And Julia's like, do you feel that? Like that tiny spark has grown bigger in me than it ever could have in you. And he's like, you want to know the truth about the castle? The castle's where the gods put the stuff they made before us. The stuff that didn't work out. Mistakes that never should have happened. Kind of like you. I hope you do go. Open that door. Go see what happens. And that's when the tea kettle starts whistling. He uses that as a distraction to like get up and like grab a gun. And Katie yells no, and then he just stops in place, and Julia's just frozen.
Yeah.
She takes the gun.
Wait, you said Julia's frozen. You mean Reynard's frozen?
Julia froze Ray.
freezes him.
Yeah.
She takes the gun, takes out the clip, and pulls out a bullet. And she's like, "Katie, do you recognize this?" And these were the bullets they created to kill a god.
Okay.
And she's like, "How did you get these? Did Our Lady give it to you?" And he says, "Nope. My mother left me here to rot. My stepfather, Hades, was the only one that took pity on me. He slipped me this gun to shoot myself in case of emergency. I'm still a god. Limp or not, we're hard to kill."
Why would he give him a full magazine instead of just one bullet?
That's fair.
Is Hades a bad guy? We like totally liked his vibe before.
Well, he didn't he gave him it as essentially like kill yourself.
We don't know that, especially with the full mag.
Yeah.
Where we trust in the trickster god who just tried to
That's
kill us after
fair.
saying, "Trust me, I changed. I read feminist literature now."
That's fair. I changed. I read Femlet.
Honestly, it might not even been Hades that gave it to him. Stop trusting this man. Either shoot him or get the fuck out. Don't listen to him.
Well, Julia listens
One
to
of the
you,
two.
and she freezes him again. And she's like, "What are you willing to bet that this god-killing bullet will work on the monster in the castle?" And Katie's like, "The fate of the world?" Julie's like, "Good enough for me." And where they go to leave, and I'm like, "Wait, so we're just gonna leave him? Like, that's it? After everything he did to the both of you, we're just gonna leave him? Kill him? Like, what are we doing here? You wanted this. You kill him." And Katie's like, "I wanted him to be punished for what he did, and I think he is. Leave him here." And we all leave.
He has a job in an apartment. He's living like that's not a punishment. Am I the
I
only
mean-
one who
he
believes
is a
in capital
god.
If
punishment?
you
Who's now-
used to be a god,
And now you're in a
Yeah, I
shitty
mean,
apartment delivering pizzas
I
to
feel
rich
like
people.
Doesn't feel like enough, but
comparison is a thief of joy
I
situation.
suppose.
Yeah,
I suppose.
I agree.
Like
with
he
you,
has
though.
no power. He can't do anything. He's just hard to kill.
Savings account and Netflix. I don't know. Fuck it. It's too much.
Upgrade him
This is
to like
not.
a
You're right. It is not a
It's
prison.
not enough.
He could be in prison.
could
We
be in
could put
prison.
him in prison.
yeah. He's got so much femlit to go through though.
Crazy.
Are you caught up now? Are we
Yeah,
at
my last scene is that everyone's talking.
All right, let's talk about Tick's policy versus your policy.
Yeah.
Should we speed run this?
Yeah, for
It
sure.
is a
I didn't write
midterm
down all the
year.
policies. Like it is, like Stodger said, it's a smash cut back and forth 50 times.
I have a couple which I think are important only for
Yes.
the end.
For sure,
So
for sure.
I definitely wrote a bunch of them down, and then I got bored, and then I stopped.
Yeah, I started doing some of them too. So I'm curious what you have.
So, you were going to. Tick's policy was low interest loans for all new infrastructure.
Right.
And you pitched
No interest loans.
0.
All of them.
Got my vote.
I also said 10 bags of grain per year per citizen.
Right.
And
Free?
Yeah,
Yes.
for free. And they were like,
Universal
there's
basic
not a,
income.
Yeah, universal basic income basically. And Josh told me, or somebody told me, it was like, hey, there's not enough like grain in the kingdom for that. So how? And I was like, you just promise it. You don't politics, baby.
Cool.
It says the first rule of politics on Earth: you just have to say it. It doesn't have to be true.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're super
This is
not
the realest
wrong.
thing we've said the entire show.
Yeah, there was something
Eliot
about
does
this.
understand politics.
Yes.
He knows that a man will get elected before a woman, and he knows you don't need to actually do what you say you're going to do.
You promised to extend summer, just make it longer.
Yeah.
You
Why
also
not?
promised free health care for everybody, which we're super into.
I feel like the first one in our world's more possible than the second.
I know. And then finally, the last thing that happens is Tick leaks the
transcript?
the transcript from our trial where we were shitting on Fillory and talking about how much we hated it, and it destroys our chances for election. In that same scene, actually, is when we get the official election results by the guy who was with the sloth, like hit the translator with the sloth. And he says that Eliot did not win the election.
Yeah. And
So
I was like, oh.
So you failed to your own like Watergate tapes?
Yeah,
Basically,
honestly, kind of.
Yeah.
And then he says, but
But-
Tick also lost the election.
What? And who won? They were the only two candidates.
Jill Stein?
There was a write-in candidate who won.
Al Gore.
And I would like everybody to know that you can no longer say this in your intro anymore because it's going to be High King Margo
Wow.
who won
Wow.
the election
You
as
are-
a write-in.
You are living in a past tense history, and we're now living in a current tense herstory.
The fucked up
And-
thing, and we'll talk about this later, is that
Women,
I'm pretty
right?
sure. No, I'm pretty sure that she's probably gonna make the worst king of the three, but it's fine.
Guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out. Honestly, Tick probably should have been elected. It seems like he's
So
got a
wait.
good head on his shoulders
So-
for policy.
Fillory got it right before we did?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yikes.
So basically, the guy who's telling us the
Is the
results,
sloth
the
lover.
sloth guy, this is relevant, and he says basically that the write-in was I won because of the talking animals, and I said just because I had beer with the bear, because he's like, yeah, Humble Drum is a highly respected member of the talking animal community,
Good
and I
coalition.
was the only candidate who came to sit down and talk to them about like their problems. And he explains that the laws about that prevent the marriage between like talking animals and humans are something that's like been a huge problem for the talking animal community, and they want to be seen as equals and not as lesser than, and this is like intermarriage can help them do that. And I was the only candidate who literally said to people and out loud that bestiality is cool. And like
Elliot did too. I just didn't go talk to the bear.
Yeah.
Elliot did too.
It is-
she's calling it bestiality, which is the
Yeah.
joke. But basically, like what Margaret was saying, she's just like, yeah, like whatever, consent is key. That's all she cares
Interesting
about.
to me that this like subjugated group of people still has the right to vote.
We put on the voting.
Oh, sure. You came up with the rules
Yeah.
of the election.
Yeah.
I think it
So-
was any sentient,
Do we?
like Fillorian
Yeah.
or something like
And
that.
so this is the weird part because Frey was like, not Frey, sorry, Fen.
Yeah.
She was just like, wait, so the human vote didn't matter? And the guy's like, yeah, we wouldn't have known this without the election, but turns out there's only 50,000 humans in Fillory and 1 million talking animals.
Sure.
So
That's how you build your coalition.
Yeah.
that is how you build a coalition.
And turns out, maybe why, I'm not sure if they knew this or not, maybe why you don't give rights to the animals, because they then outnumber you in a voting majority.
I'm surprised they didn't write in an animal for a candidate.
Yeah,
And
true.
Not the
so
first round.
Margot just says at first to Elle, she's like, I'm so sorry.
Right.
And and she also realizes that, oh, you must really love that sloth, because the guy that was telling us the poll results, he gets down, he was like, let me be the first to acknowledge you, because he does as like, the first this first elected high king. And you give a pause.
Yeah, I give a pause, a little pregnant pause, and then I turn around and be like, let me be the second to pledge my fealty to High King Margo.
Long may
Mild
she
land
reign.
long may
Do we
she
need to
reign.
show this episode to the Democratic Party?
So
Would it help?
the
Couldn't hurt.
couldn't hurt.
So you want to actually connect with the people that
And
vote?
the problems that
Yeah.
things that they
So
say to
does
you.
this mean
That
that
doesn't sound right.
you referenced needing an army earlier?
We did not need an army. Well, I guess we needed a crown, which
Yeah.
my next scene is the coronation.
But if we need an army and there's apparently 1 million creatures
a
who
lot of
like
creatures.
you,
we don't need an army right now, though.
Yeah.
So I get a crown. We have a coronation. And that is when Eliot has a little aside with Tick, who's there.
Yeah. And basically, without getting too much into the specifics, Tick is like standing, looking frightened in the corner because, now the people that he overthrew maybe a day ago, I don't know.
I think it's much longer.
I think
with
it's
the
probably much
polls
longer.
and stuff, yeah.
But he's like, I walk up to him and he's like, I will be choosing death by 1,000 pokes. Just so you know, I've heard that it only hurts for the first couple hundred. And I was like, Tick, we're not going to kill you. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, what do you, and I was like, shh, bud, you're getting a job in King Margo's cabinet
oh, don't do that.
because
Don't do that West Wing bullshit.
you do have like good policy. You do seem to actually care about the people of Fillory. Like, you are needed here. welcome into the circle, but step out of line.
24/7 security.
24/7
Okay.
Watching him.
surveillance security.
Yeah.
You are technically like a prisoner in the castle / an employee of the crown. And
Okay.
Prisoner employee, you tell me the difference.
More of a prisoner than Reynard is, apparently.
Apparently.
yeah, true. He doesn't even have a security detail, and so we're welcoming him, and Tick seems legitimately like excited.
He's happy.
He's a career politician.
Yeah.
which is probably why he should have actually been the king of Fillory or whatever, or
The low
president
interest
of
rate for
Fillory.
infrastructure, him like the thing is where his proposals were like
Actually good
proposals, and then we were like free food, free healthcare. I mean, it was
Long
like
summer.
long summer.
Global warming.
We were definitely the problems here.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we end up giving it back to Tick. And also, I don't know if you can call yourself High King Margo because you're a democratically elected leader.
The position is called High King.
Oh,
You can
got
call
it.
yourself whatever you want.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Call
and
yourself
then
late for dinner.
finally, before we get to the last scene or our last scene,
Son of a bitch.
we are meeting with the fairy.
Yeah. Gets
And
what
I
he
say,
wants.
hey, you get a seat, a government. Everybody, all the fairies become citizens. They have the protection of the law, but we need the key. The deal is the deal.
Question, all bolded in my notes. We're a democracy now?
Yeah.
So when did this become policy?
The policy is that I don't think that they have closed borders in Fillory, so it doesn't even seem like
Okay.
like this is probably like I would assume that it falls under non-human. Like Margo
Sure.
was elected by 1 million to like 25,000 apiece if you guys split it.
Yeah.
So I would say that she has a mandate to enact like passing
some kind of
citizenship
legislation.
for non-human creatures.
I get that it's not good television to sit and watch them like develop a senate and like different fiduciary responsibility committees and all kinds of like systems of checks and balances. But we do then immediately like, I'm a democratically elected. Let's go into a back.
Just because it's a
room.
democratically
Yeah, I
elected
know.
king doesn't mean that she doesn't rule as a king. They didn't change necessarily. I don't know what.
The system of government's
but
still
the
the
system
same,
of government
just
can
the
still
way-
be a king. You're just elected like a pope. Like,
Sure, I guess when I hear democracy, I assume a system of democracy, not
how
a democratically
very American-centric of you.
That's true. I am one of them. So we enact that, and we can let all the previously invading force now occupy previously Fillorian land without the consent of the people.
Well, I mean, it's the consent of the people was the election of Margo.
Yeah.
So
We didn't tell them about that, but it's fine. I'm sure no one will have a problem with it.
I actually really don't think they will.
I don't. Okay, fair enough.
All right, and then this is when she says, "Yep, you'll get it as soon as the last elf moves in." Fairy, sorry, not elf.
Last
and,
elf, what?
Yeah, and then she says, I always saw something in you, even when you didn't see it in yourself. And as she says, even when you didn't see yourself, she does a little hand gesture. I take the cover off, and she has lost her eye and has replaced my eye with her eye.
Did she lose her eye?
Yes.
Oh,
She gave me a fairy eye, and I'm like, oh my God, I can see so many things. I'm so confused. And she's like, you'll learn with time, but you need to hide it. And then she does another wave, and then my eye matches. So Margo's eyes match now.
Right.
So, but for a moment, they did the CG where it was split.
Yeah.
And it looked really cool. And I can see all sorts of things. So, and then that's the end of that scene. And then we move into the echo chamber of all of us talking at the
the
same
black
time.
screen trying to find Penny talk.
So what's going on? Because I didn't understand it at all.
I didn't follow what happened. Did you have?
The only thing that I pick out, which is for me, is Katie talking to me, saying, "Hey, we got the key. We're gonna get you out of the underworld."
When you say
And-
me, you mean Penny 40.
Yeah, and she doesn't realize that. And the last thing I get is Katie's like, they replaced my penny with you, and I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry, but this is Penny 23.
So it seems like she was using the key to reach Penny 40. It didn't work.
Is it like 46 or something?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Six.
It is 40.
It is 40. Okay.
I don't know what I thought. Yeah.
But it almost seems like the universe has accepted that you are the new real Penny.
It
which is
redirected your call. Your call
Yeah.
got forwarded to
Yeah.
Penny
Shady.
23.
Yeah.
The other thing we hear in this black screen, like everybody's kind of talking over each
Yeah.
other or whatever, but we do hear that we got the last key from the fairies.
Yeah, that was us passing that message on. Yeah.
And then I have the book, chapter 8.
Oh, we got there.
So Julia has the book. It's the end of the story. I'm kind of like, I think the dad stuff is hanging over my head, right? So I'm kind of
Right.
distressed about reaching the end of this journey, and I'm talking about how, like, you know, as we've mentioned a few times, like the quest is supposed to change the quester who's going on it, and Julia kind of like reads Quentin like a book here and says, you know, you thought you'd be 150% sure of what you're doing, and right now you're only like 70% sure because of your dad. And I'm like, how did you know all of this? And she's like, oh, it's a little party trick. I can like read you basically. And I'm like, well, can you heal my dad so I don't have to make a choice here? And she's like, well, there's nothing to heal. Like, his cancer's in remission while magic's gone. And then when magic comes back, there's so many dominoes that are going to fall so quickly. Like, we might not be able to, you know, like, no promises, basically. Like, we, you know.
She doesn't say no, but she doesn't
Say
yes.
no, but it seems like it might be very difficult. And, like, he might get sick almost immediately after magic comes back. And she's going to be busy getting magic back, right? So, I kind of, like, stand up and I go to the book. And I'm like, what if the thing that the quest wants me to be is cold, willing to sacrifice the people I love? And Julia says, then the quest fucked up when it shows Quentin Coldwater. So I have one last scene, and I'm like sitting down, and it starts with like the camera very close up, not showing who I'm talking to. But I'm basically being like, yeah, it's all real. Like, you know, the chat wins, Fillory, Umber, basically like kind of recapping what, you know, has happened to us. I'm talking to my dad.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if all that's out there, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm on a quest. And the dad's like, magic's gone, isn't it? So the dad can like sense, he felt when it left. Maybe related
Because
to the
of
cancer stuff, right? But he's like, he knew it wasn't a coincidence when his cancer went into remission. And I'm like, yeah, we're getting close to fixing magic being gone, though. And so he says, so are you here to ask my permission to turn it back on? Which is kind of the big question, right? And I go into this, you know, I start talking about how while I was on this quest, I lived a whole life. I grew old, had a son who grew old. And what was that all for if not for this, right? To bring magic back. And I say, no, I'm not here to ask for your permission. I wanted to look you in the eye and tell you I'm sorry. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to do this. And then the dad has like this flash on his face. It's really well acted. It's really well shot. The dad has like this, like almost like a quick glimpse of like anger. And then it turns into like kind of this sadness and realization. But like more sadness than anything, I guess I would say. And the dad says, what was his name? Like, what was your son's name? And I said, I named him after you. And the dad has like this teary-eyed smile and credits.
Cute.
What's the reason to turn magic back on?
Just quality of
I mean,
life.
well,
guess.
Penny was looking at the newspaper and saying how things were terrible. Like,
Yeah.
is that not a...
I guess so. It's like they're trying to position it as like a trolley problem, kind of. Is that? I guess like I don't
think
really
so.
understand. So that's why, because I don't see those scenes.
Oh.
So like, I guess I'm just kind of asking, like, is that really what the show is?
I would also
saying?
agree. I do think that the show hasn't done a particularly good job in the scenes that for our characters, the show hasn't done a particularly good job showing the mass negative ramifications of missing magic outside of we want it.
I will say the fact that the gods treat it as punishment, taking it away, suggests that things are better with it. Like the fact that they've said it'll always come back, and this is really just punishment. Like if our punishment is taking away this thing, then existence without it is bad.
Yeah, I guess I wish that they would just show it more on like, because the way that they talk about it, it's like the sunlight disappears and the whole Earth will crumble. Like the like a base component that makes Earth what it is no longer functioning. Without it, it is like a wobbling tower of dominoes that's going to fall and everyone's going to be impacted. And I just don't see that a ton. But I think that's how they're talking about it. The way that they're talking about it, I think, is a force of nature where it'd be like the currents stop flowing, like the sun stops shining. Like it is going to be mass catastrophe at some point in the near future, though I am just guessing because I don't think they've shown it.
It's also just a nature of like how this TV show is and how television kind of works in
Yeah.
general is like we're always fighting against something.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like create space in the show, and maybe they could have done a better job, but like figuring out places to show the net positive impact of magic. I feel like we haven't really seen any of that, right? Like every villain we've had is a villain more or less because of magic.
Right.
And most of the heroes that we're seeing aren't doing like there doesn't seem to be a thing where it's like modern medicine wouldn't exist without magic. It's one of the great secrets. Where it's like if we take away magic, then all of a sudden we're not able to like manufacture penicillin. Like penicillin is a magically like something like that would make it so that the layman, the non-magical folks running around are directly impacted without their knowledge. And maybe there's something we've missed in there, but I don't know, because it seems to be a pretty isolated community of magicians interacting with magicians for magical things that doesn't really bleed out outside of like, you know, this bank has magical security, but it's only to keep magicians out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a feedback loop kind of.
And they're definitely leaving it a little open to debate, right? Like Quentin is now conflicted about it, right? Or was at least for a bit. And he's the most gung-ho about like, yay, magic, has been his whole life. So I'm okay for them having like a little bit of a like, should they not type of story. And then maybe you seal it with like, here's what magic can, you know, like I'm sure as soon as magic comes back, they're going to have a montage or something of like, here are some crazy good things that happened because of it. Right?
Probably.
Yeah, that's fine. I believe it. I just wanted to know that that's what was like the position, because otherwise it's like, you're just killing your dad. He probably should be mad at you.
Yeah, but like you can't. I don't know. To me, it's this like global thing versus one
right, and I just
person.
didn't really get that. So this makes more sense to me now.
Yeah. And there might be little like montagey things where when magic disappeared, we got like
we
a
can see.
5-minute montage of things around the world where transit lines weren't working and bridges were collapsing, and it's like infrastructure was magic and nobody knew kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's an episode.
An episode. Wait, hold on.
Hey, you know what? Since you got all the keys, might not be a bad time to send in some questions.
I figured it was going to be something
episode
like that.
12.
Uh-oh.
Was it 13 before?
I mean, 12, 13, 14. I feel like that's this type of season
Sweet
length.
shot. Yep.
Yeah, no, I think you should send those questions in to either popculturerollcall@gmail.com, or if you're part of the Discord, there is the wrap-up questions channel that you can send it there too.
For every question you submit, we do require subscribing. Hashtag vanity.
Yeah, please subscribe to the YouTube and then submit your question. It's a requirement. We will be checking. Also, it doesn't need to just be questions. If you have things you want us to talk about, or like little, it could be statements. could be aggressive, like posturing. No, but send in anything you want us to talk about, anything you want us to review, things you want us to sort of. What's the word when you think about something? The thing I'm not doing now about the words I'm trying to say.
The ponder?
Ponder, but talk about. Because it's an audio podcast. We're not just going to quietly think. Thank you all. Popculturerollcall@gmail.com or over in the Discord at Wrap Up Questions.
This podcast made a wild choice. What do they do? They ponder for 45 minutes. They don't say anything.
They just sort of think. Everyone's had a nice sit.
Yeah.
Just a every once in a while.
Huh. Well,
I'm your host, Mike, signing off. Left me as always.
It's Tasha.
In front of me as always.
it's Colin.
Right here, right now.
Brian.
Creeping in the background often.
Producer James.
We'll see you next time.
Bye forever.
For more information, go to popculturerollcall.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Our new theme provided by Stephen Rossbach. Find him at stephenrossbach.com for more of his work. Join us next week for another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call.